Hey y'all, this is Amanda and welcome back to my Texas Zone 8A garden. And today we are in the backyard and moving those bags is really hard. Had a couple of months off of gardening and I'm really tired. I'm not as in shape. We're gonna be working in the backyard and we are working on the cattle troughs. I have 5 of them across the back of the backyard. I prepped 2 of them in the fall, but I have 3 more that I need to prep for spring. Okay, the dogs are outside with me. There's gonna be lots of barking, but you guys, I'm sure you enjoy it. So I've got 5 of those really big cattle troughs. I put them in a couple of years ago. I have drip set up to them. They do have holes to allow for drainage. They've done really, really well and really enjoyed them. And I've kind of learned what I wanted over the years with them. I want them to be functional, but I also love them to be beautiful. In the past, I have planted purple trailing lantana on the front of them every year. And it is stunning. It gets to the point where it covers the entire container across the front. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna do that again this year as well. I just absolutely love it. But I've got 3 containers that I still need to clean out, all the dead annuals from last year. And the soil level has dropped significantly. So I need to go in and add some raised bed soil into it and top it with some mulch. Now here's one of the beds that I cleaned up in the fall. And actually I have a perennial in here. This is obedient plant. You can actually see it coming in. This was part of the perennial sets that I ordered from Bluestone Perennials. So this is a white, I believe it's called Summer Snow. And obedient plant can be very disobedient and can definitely spread. So I've got it in this container because I'm hoping it'll just spread in that whole container. I've also got a couple of yarrow tucked back in here. And then underneath the mulch, I've got drip lines under here, so spread throughout the entire thing. I do like to grow a lot of trellis type crops like cucumbers here. And so I did these first 2. This one right here has verbascum, Southern Charm in it, and it's actually greening up too. And it also has a clematis back here that I grew from bare root last year. I don't know how well it's doing, putting on a little bit of growth right there. We'll see. And then these 3 are the ones that need to be cleaned out. You can see this is the purple trailing lantana in front. It's an annual in my area, does not come back, but you can tell how big it was. Went all the way to ground, covered this entire front of this container. Now, look how much the soil level has dropped in this particular container. I filled these up 2 years ago and they were a couple of inches from the top. So it has dropped a good 10 inches. So what I'll be doing is I'm gonna pull out the drip lines and pull out all the annuals that I don't need. I do have a clematis in here. At least it says I do. I don't know if it's alive or not. We'll just go ahead and leave that in there. But I'm gonna pull all that out, pull the drip lines out, and then I'm gonna top this with raised bed soil and a good 3 to 4 inches of mulch. Let me jump over here. Here's another one. This actually had hyacinth bean on it. I'm gonna pull all of that off. You can see how much this has dropped as well. And then this one over here, which actually is kind of shady over here, it's dropped a whole bunch. So I definitely have to get that all cleaned up. But let's start by pulling out all the annuals. What I'm gonna do to them is I'm actually just gonna break them up and put them right back into the container. These will not reseed or anything, but this organic material will break down and it will continue to nourish the soil. So I'm gonna make sure I do that on all of them, pulling down all of this organic material and just put it right back into the container, and then I will top it with soil. Okay, so this looks pretty good. We got the soil level back up. I got a lot of mulch on top. I think this is gonna hold up pretty well. So let's go ahead and knock this out on the other ones. Okay, well that looks a million times better. I want these planters to be more full this year. I want them to be almost wild. So like I typically put one lantana plant. I'm thinking at least one, if not two, potentially another plant, where they're draping over the sides and they're just covering the whole thing. I think it would be absolutely gorgeous. Now those two at the end have the verbascum and the obedient plant. So some of those plants get 3 feet tall. So think how tall that's gonna get. So this one, and this one, I'll have to think about what I want to add. I don't have to add this year. I do encourage you guys, like, you don't have to fill your garden in right away. This is an idea. You know, so if I like the verbascum and the obedient plant, perhaps I get different varieties of those and work them into these other containers. Now this one at the end gets a lot of shade, so it's a little bit different because it's got the willow tree. So once the willow tree fills in, that guy gets a lot of shade. In fact, I have a hydrangea on the other side of him. Now these two guys right here are St. John's wort, or also known as hypericum berries by florists. And I'm gonna wait until mid-February and I'll cut these back severely. And those will come back. These guys had a lot of iron deficiency this last year, so I'll be treating them with Dr. Iron and fertilizer as well to see if I can combat that. This is an Oh So Easy Rose by Proven Winners. I would like to give it a pretty hard cutback. I'm not sure I love it. It's so thorny, y'all. And there's those little bitty thorns that hurt really bad. So I don't know if I like it. We'll see. I do like how wild it is. Like, I think that's fabulous. And then this one right here is Purple Pride Beauty Berry. And it did give me some berries this last year, but I'm excited to give it another year of growing. I still have lots of spots to fill in with different shrubs along the way. That's actually just lantana that needs to be thrown away. But I have space here, space in between the hypericum, space over there. Lots of space for large scale shrubs and bushes. I think it'll be really nice. One of the other things I'm really wanting to do in the off season before I start growing is I would love to wrap all of these trellis. These are cattle panel trellis. I would love to wrap them with white fairy lights that are solar powered, so that in the evenings when I look out, because there's my windows right there into my living room. So I would really love to look out and see all of these lit up. I'll look at ordering those, see how much those are. I think it would be so pretty. Just go ahead and wrap them now, and I'll use like the wire, so I'll wrap it real tight. And then once vines and stuff start growing up over them, I just imagine how gorgeous that would be. Okay. Not what I would call it a really in-depth project, but also not a fast project. That took a lot of time and a lot of effort. I'm definitely gonna need a hot bath tonight. My body's gonna be hurting. Whew, but it does feel good to get my hands this dirty again. It feels really great. And it feels good to have that wrapped up. I mean, look how nice and neat that looks. I don't mind cutting all that back. That all was annuals. It wasn't producing anything for any pollinators or wildlife or anything like that. So just cutting that back is good. I'm not cutting back my perennials as of yet. Still have a little bit more time, maybe about 2 to 3 more weeks before I start cutting back perennials. We are expecting this time next week, we're expecting snow. So that's a little bit different because today is 70 and this is the last 70-degree day, and we've literally had like 5 or 6 in a row. From here on out, the temperatures are just going to start declining, and this time next week we should be dealing with snow. So that'll be really fun. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you click over and check me out on the community page on my YouTube channel. Just go to my YouTube channel and there's a bunch of tabs at the bottom and you can click on community. I do try to post on that every day, and all of that is original content that is not on any of my other social media platforms. But you can also find me at TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. All right, as always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.